Happy Wednesday, you all. This is Wednesday, and it is the day that we do our webinar. And today's topic is avoiding financial dream killers. Yes, the notes on this could go on and on and on and on. Yes, it could. I want you all to give me, while I'm talking, give me some financial dream killers that I may not think of, but that you have run into or you've seen that have happened to other people. So let's talk now about financial dream killers, what not to do, don't do, what to avoid, to take we're taking our own personal responsibility for our financial success. So avoiding financial dream killers. So I have two monitors. And so make sure you make your comments and I will try to address them. That's why I want everybody to do the webinar, because it's much easier for me to just stay focused on you all in the webinar. And you get to do the poll. And we had a poll, and we found out that most of you that are participating, you said that your goal is retirement first and debt freedom is coming in right behind it. So, but the majority of you want to be financially independent. So, and sooner than later, huh? So thank you. Thank you for telling me that, because we can avoid these type of things that we're going to talk about by avoiding financial dream killers. You can retire even more comfortably than you ever imagined. So yes, indeed, I'm glad that Mr. Murphy is here today. He is here to help us, and he's going to fully participate. He made it in. He made it in. Oh, a financial sabotage that a webinar participant said is holiday overspending. Now, isn't that the truth? There are people today who are paying for what they did last year this time. As the holidays approach, I always do internet purchases because I can't stand how emotional I get when I get into the mall. I get so excited that I want to buy everything. And it just becomes more of an emotional thing than a financially wise thing. And so, I think last year, because I was able to almost buy nothing. It got up to it, but I was like saying that I wanted a particular amount or particular academic performance out of my child. And I was like, we're going to, and I didn't get what I wanted her to have for herself. So I said, well, we're going to focus more on giving. So we spent the holidays feeding the less fortunate. And that I think that by the end of the day, she really realized the value of avoiding financial and academic sabotages. There's a lot of people who made certain decisions in their younger life that have effect, and that is a financial sabotage. And if we can get ourselves, the earlier in our life, the better. Then when we can address these financial dream killers, the earlier in our life that we can avoid them, the more comfortable our adult and retired life will be. Can I get an amen on that? So the earlier, the better. So these are financial dream killers. That's it. We're going to, one is procrastination, right? The argument that I hear all the time, and not the argument, but what I hear all the time is that I'll start tomorrow. Well, I have here the habit of procrastination is stagnating. So many of us say that when we get to another position in life, then we'll start saving. Or after I make this last purchase, then I'll make better decisions. Or I'll talk to you after I do this. Or next year, like this is as the fourth quarter approaches, I have people, I know if I check like my calendar and stuff, people have said, I'll join AfroEconomics last year, and still didn't do it. I've noticed that the only people that really get their finances in order and address whatever it is are the people who do it. Like Mr. Murphy said, hey, I'm here, that you have to just make a commitment that this is going to happen for me on this particular time, and I'm going to do this for me right now, and if not for you, for everybody that depends on you. Sometimes you got to do it until you do it for yourself. What's that song? He says, let me love you until you learn to love yourself. Well, let me love you. Let me financially empower you until you say, hey, I got to do this for myself. Join, get in the team, get on a positive team. Another point is having no idea when your bills are due is a financial dream killer. It's a dream killer. You gotta know what's coming up. Like the third principle of AfroEconomics, get the book, is, and if you join, everybody gets the book free. Every book that I have, they get to download for free when you're a member. Before that, get the book. Even if you're a member, the members are the people that have the book. Anyway, they are all about having this in front of their family, having it on your family bookshelf. That a key principle of AfroEconomics is organization and planning. Organization, knowing exactly who you owe, how much, what the interest rate is, when it's due, everything, how much you put on, everything, knowing everything. Gotta know. Estimated taxes, when the tax is due on this, when is that doing that. Organization, you can, and then some people will say, well, I don't have any time for that. But really, you really don't have time for watching that extra episode of the reality show if you have some stuff that you've got to get organized for yourself. So you can't afford not to be organized. So having no idea when your bills are due or how much you owe, it's time to get organized. Read the third chapter of AfroEconomics. A third point is are you comfortable with living month to month? No, you're not. The stress of not knowing. Like, I have always, my entire professional life, been in sales. Most people can't take that type of nonsense. I remember, I'll say nonsense, but I must love it. It's been all of my young life. But yes, I started in sales in my 20s, started my business in my 20s, started this investment advisory firm in my 20s. This firm is over 20 years old. So just think about not knowing at all what you're going to have the next day. How you going to eat their next meal? How you going to make sure that everybody that's depending on you gets paid year after year after year after year? Well, that is very stressful. I had to make sure that I developed a lifestyle that it was manageable, that you're living not just at your style of living, not just knowing, okay, I made this amount of money, I can make sure I spend that amount of money every year. No, because you got to have somewhere that you're developing a cushion for yourself, a cushion of comfort, that if, just so at least not if it's not even about you, but making sure that everything else is taken care of if something did happen to you. But when you're at a point of month to month, and you know that if you lost your job, that you're going to have to move out of where you live sometime real soon. So we know that we have to develop some sort of emergency fund. We have to do these things. We're sabotaging ourselves if you don't make a commitment to saving so that if anything happens unexpectedly, they close the place down, or there's a flood, the hurricane comes through town. Any of these things can happen. So it's just funny. I've never done this before. I dropped my notes. Woo, that's funny. So we want to become, now I can understand that we're all accustomed to, we don't know. We really truly don't know what's going to happen to anything, to your business, to your job, to your life, nothing. But we still can prepare for the unexpected by developing a 3 to 6 month cushion. So, don't sabotage yourself by being, not being responsible and not making sure that you're saving some money each month towards a better day. It doesn't have to be saved for a rainy day. You don't have to think about it that way. I think it's a better day. It's for your future. So every time you get a raise, then save the raise. You know, you don't have to say, well, I'm gonna start 20% today. You know, that might be too hard, but you certainly can say, I'll start this 5%. Then when you get that inflation rate raise or whatever raise you get, don't adjust your standard of living every time you get a raise. Save that. Save that. So you're still adjusting your standard of living. It's just that you're making your life a lot more pleasant. So then a fourth point is, so what I'm going to make sure, I said that no matter how many raises that you get, try to maintain the same lifestyle so that you're saving at least 20% of your income, you know, and you can start with the minimal amount, okay? And then another dream killer habit is spending your savings every time you get it accumulated. You know, that connecting an ATM card to your savings, like not, you know, realizing that is not for me to spend all the time. Like, how do you, I think you just have to separate it from yourself. You have to try to get it as far away from you as possible. And that doesn't mean, your savings don't need to be tied up in anything that's not available to you. And see, that's the hard part. Because our savings, your retirement account is not a savings. Your savings is something that you can get to, but you have the discipline enough to know, but it's for the future. It's for an emergency. So that I have an amen. We also need 5 to 7 streams of other income. Ain't that the truth? If just having one form of income, you know, could definitely be a dream killer. Because if you lose that and that's your only form of income, you know, then you're terrified. So if you have additional, he said 5 to 7. He ain't joking. At least have additional forms of income. So if one of your forms of income it does go down, you can get. So when you were saving in investments, you're doing that to create an additional form of income. So your investment portfolio might be one of that 7. Then you might have real estate properties. That might be another one. You might have retirement investment portfolio, but outside of a retirement account, a liquid investment account, another form of income. You know, you might have your own business, a hobby that you turned into a legitimate business, another form of income where you take pictures, you do photography, you clean pools, you cut grass, you know, but yeah, you can, it is possible to create 5 to 7 different forms of income as long as you make sure that you do them all effectively. So good point. And so spending your savings every time you accumulate it, you know, that is a sabotage to your future. Then the surrounding yourself, that is a good point. Surrounding yourself with people that have bad financial habits. Now, does that mean that you can't be around any poor people? That's what. So this somebody said that to me one time, and he said that I just feel like I can't be around poor people anymore. And I was like, what? And then, but I didn't say what. I just, you know, listen. And then, you know, I tried to explain that just because someone doesn't have a lot of money, it doesn't mean that they have poor financial habits. Because you can have a lot of money coming in and have very bad financial habits. So you want to surround yourself with people who have good financial habits. They might not make as much income as you. They could possibly live better than you because they know how to do the right thing with their money. Now, we judge a lot of things on what people have outside, like what clothes, what car, what house, you know, but that's not where the true wealth is. Those are just things. If you want to know how much equity, if somebody has equity in their house, so they can live in a little house that's paid for and worth $100,000, but that's all equity. And you could have $1 million house and you only have $10,000 worth of equity. So the wealthier person when it comes to home equity is the person with the little house. But we have been socialized to believe that the person with the $1 million, is the one that has all the money. So it's not, you cannot judge wealth by its cover. So don't hang out with buzzards all of the time. Try to soar with the eagles as much as possible. That's right. Thank you, Mr. Murphy. Don't hang out with buzzards. He said that's bottom feeders. That ND or just looking. I don't know, but it's a graphic for buzzards. What do buzzards do? Buzzards just like eat on leftover and try to make sure they somebody messing up your life, I guess. And then they want to come in and try to eat off that instead of building you up, and helping you fly with them, right? Soar with the eagle. So be very careful about people with bad financial habits and make sure that you are learning and developing relationships with very positive mentors, people with good financial habits. So what about being too conservative? Actually, what? Yes, indeed. Being too conservative is a sabotage. It is a bad financial habit. If you need growth, you need to investigate maximizing growth potential, maximizing investment options, finding out what you need to do based on your time horizon and your specific risk tolerance. But don't just say, oh, it needs to be right there because that's what my grandma did and I'm going to do the same thing. So that's what I'm going to do. Be very careful with that. Lack of knowledge, making sure that you invest appropriately. The word says our people shall perish due to lack of knowledge. Doesn't really say about racism. Racism hurts us, but the knowledge of how to overcome these things is what is empowering us. That's what we're using. So being too conservative as an investor and also being too aggressive as an investor. Being too aggressive is a lack of knowledge as well. So we got to be totally in tune with what you need. Get the financial professional assistance that you need. And my goal is for you, of course, I would love for you to join AfroEconomics.org. Check it out. So what about every time you see a sale, you think that you should go for it? I call it BOGO, buy one, get one. What? Look, if you only need one, buy one. Buy one, get one, another that you don't need half off. No, buy only what you need and get that as expensively as possible. Try to save money every chance you can. Yes, indeed. So then a ninth point is taking care of another household. And then we know in AfroEconomics that it is, when we look at the research, it is highly likely, unfortunately, that we may have to take care of our parents or another sibling or something like that. We're more likely to be in a sandwich situation of taking care of children, taking care of ourselves, and trying to take care of parents. And if you're in that type of situation, you need to be conscious of that. I tell my parents all the time, I am thankful that they are able to take care of themselves, that they made financially wise decisions and educated themselves and and lived a good life and built up a life for themselves within their means, that I am able to focus on myself and my child. But that is a privilege. We should never take it for granted. That is a privilege, and we should make sure that we do the same for our children, that we make sure that we take care of ourselves so that we're not a burden to our children at any point in our life. They can help us, but we also have that money coming in to help them help us. So they can help us, but we've got it all set up, and we need to get that set up now. Get it set up now. Investigate long-term care insurance. I can help you with all of those things. That's what we do as members. The first thing that we do is investigating where you are, developing a financial plan. We have to investigate these things. So it said, break the cycle of poverty, starting with yourself. Amen. Yes, indeed. That's what most of us who did, your parents did it, we have to maintain it, because it is harder now for us, you know, especially as black professionals. It is a lot harder for you because the affirmative action is basically out of the window. It's not going to happen. There's no sort of incentive existing that you got to recruit. So the young black people like us, you know, are under a lot more challenged. Black people have a lot more options. It's harder for black businesses. They're harder for black professionals. And we have to wake up and realize that we have to make sure that we are financially astute and wise. And I would love to see us do more about supporting our own businesses, because our black businesses, and I'm having a summit on that in November 2017, November 12th, 2017. And I want to do that every year, the Black Business Summit, about the importance of black businesses, so that we are breaking the cycle of poverty. Because in many situations, small businesses are the major, small businesses hire millions of people across this country, across the world. So if you have black unemployment is in double digits. We have so many black people unemployed that aren't even being counted anymore because they've given up on it. Even they can't qualify for any benefits. And the other part are underqualified. So what if we had our businesses grow? Because then we'll be in a position to give more people, especially black people, employment opportunities. But we've got to take responsibility of creating those opportunities. And that's where the sacrifice of starting our own businesses is going to come in. And that's when you see people from other countries, they come in and they start their own businesses because they know the challenges that they're under with the communication divide and everything. So they go, I've got to create this for myself. And we've got to do that. We've got to do that. And it creates more opportunities, and it helps the entire country the more financially successful we are as a people. Our community helps everybody. More success for us is more success for everybody. Everybody benefits when everybody's successful. Each one help one. So we're going to break that cycle of poverty, indeed. So and a final point is that an often overlooked financial habit that I mentioned in the book is that we underestimate what we can accomplish over time. We underestimate what we can accomplish over a long period of time, but overestimate our expectations of the short term. So we think that everything's going to change so immediately. But I may die. I'm going to die. I may die. I may live forever. No. But I'm saying I may be gone before we really see the true manifestation of everything that God wants AfroEconomics to bring to the planet. But we still have to do it. I still had to do it. You know, it's like, I still had to do it. It might be somebody else telling my story. Michelle might have to tell you, my executive assistant, she might have to tell you my story after I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? But it happened, and it creates it, and it opens doors for somebody else. I believe that everything that we do, we've got to all believe that everything takes time. Walmart is Walmart because of what somebody did that's gone. That the children benefited off what the grandchildren the great grandchildren are benefiting off what happened. So that's why when we're talking about our community of a time of going through discrimination and disenfranchisement, and you know that in our businesses not having access to capital, our people not having the income equality. So we don't have income equality. You don't have access to capital. We have had generation after generation after generation of that. You'll see that we have to continue to go through the pain to create something over in the long term. And over the long term, it can get better. but we've had so many of our businesses who haven't had the assistance of succession planning, of how to transfer it from one generation or one ownership to another. It doesn't have to be a person's family that takes over the business. It doesn't have to be. When you're a corporation, it's just turning over your shares to another shareholder, and how to do that generation after generation after generation. And even if the business is sold, doing the right thing with the assets that come from that business sale. We say so often in the community that, oh, people sold their land, they sold their land and they don't have nothing. You can sell anything and still have everything and have even more. But if you sell your land and buy a Cadillac that depreciates, then no. If you sell your business and you buy, a Mercedes Benz, and it's going down in value, you're not buying the Benz in order to continue the business and build the business and put the signage on it and wrap the vehicle and haul lawnmowers with it, then no. So it's not what we do, it's what we do with it. It's not, what that you sold it, that's the problem. It's what you do with the money after you sell something, what you do in the transition of the business, and always preparing ourselves. So that's the kind of stuff we're going to do in that business workshop. But that's also important about everybody. We're all enterprises. Even if you work for someone, you've got to operate yourself and see yourself as a business. Everything you do is generating the future. So what you do with your retirement money, if you buy life insurance or not, if you get long-term care or not, if you keep yourself healthy or not, following the 10 principles of AfroEconomics, including integrity, how you live your life, that makes a difference for generations to go. Your grandchildren have to deal with something negative that you've done. They will have to deal with it, and your children's children and children's children and children. We don't realize the responsibility that we have right now, and we must, because you don't want to be a financial sabotage to yourself. Don't be a dream killer to yourself. It's not what happens to us. Because I can tell you, I can make you cry if I told you all of the people that have not believed in me. No, but that does not matter. What matters is how I am still standing and better for it. So it's not what happens to us, it's what we do with what happens to us, right? Somebody can hit you with a basketball coming right at your face. You put your hands up and you catch it and you still lay it up. That's what matters, not the ball coming at your face. Did you block, right? So that's it. Don't sabotage yourself financially. That's the bottom line, right? Check out the podcast at AfroEconomics.net. The podcast is at AfroEconomics.net, or go to AfroEconomics.com, click podcast, download the app. Get information on the upcoming business workshop, the webinars this weekend, webinars each week, and then get information on the membership. If you're wondering about, do I have the proper allocation in my investments at work? Do I have the proper amount of insurance? Do I have, I want to improve my credit score? These are all the things that we attack in the AfroEconomics membership. There's single membership, there's family membership, there's entrepreneurship membership, and I'm about to start a membership called Legacy for everybody over 60. So definitely get on board, join. You can do it just a little bit of money, like the price of a pizza for a month, each month. So there's no excuse. You want professional financial assistance, make sure that you take the incentive. Don't sabotage yourself. Use your money wisely. Allow me to assist you. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy your week. Stay empowered. Share the video. Check it out on YouTube. And I'll be right here to assist you. My email is jb@afroeconomics.com. Go to the website. Click chat now. The Afroeconomics team is there for you. Have a blessed day. I'm JB Bryan, President and Chief Investment Officer at Bryan Financial Group, a registered investment advisory firm and the home of AfroEconomics.